shifting our focus to international politics now. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, of course, is no stranger to street politics, having led and tackled multiple marches and mega protests. Now, months after being ousted from power, Imran Khan has hit the streets once again. He is leading another long march, this time from Lahore to Islamabad, demanding early elections. Thousands of people have already joined him. He's calling this the Haqeeqi Azadi Long March that will travel around 380 kilometers from Lahore to Islamabad over the next week, stopping along the way to hold rallies and gather more protesters. Meanwhile, security has already been briefed up around Pakistan, with shipping containers being placed to stop protesters, and the government has issued a warning of stern action against anyone who participates. The Interior Minister of the country, Rana Sanaullah, has said that the government will deal with those in the march with an iron hand. Let's quickly listen in to Imran Khan first.
मुल्क से बाहर नजार अपने लोगों का किसी और मुल्क के लिए कुर्बानी दे ना। हमें ये कोई कहे कि अगर रूस हमें सस्ता तेल दे रहा है और मैं अपनी कौम को महंगाई से बचा सकता हूं, तो ना हमें कोई हुक्म करे कि हिंदुस्तान तो ले सकता है रूस से सस्ता तेल, लेकिन गुलाम पाकिस्तानियों को इजाजत नहीं।
Imran Khan's long march has begun. Question is, where will it end? Maruf Raza is the group consulting editor at the Times Network, joining us on the broadcast. Abdul Samad Yaqoob is joining us from Pakistan. He's the spokesperson of the PTI, and Major General Sanjay Meston is joining us as well on the broadcast. Let me quickly go across to our guest from Pakistan. Hina Chaudhary, you're joining us as well. You're joining us from Pakistan. She's a Pakistani journalist. But Mr. Yaqoob, I'm coming to you first. Help me understand what is the purpose of this long march, because your government, the government in Pakistan, is viewing this as a law and order headache.
That we as a PTI, a political party which is demanding an early election. So this is the main reason that we have been demanding the early election since we have been ousted from the power, and that's the only reason. I believe that we will achieve this motive before we reach Islamabad. I mean, by the time we reach Islamabad, I think the early election will be announced, and this is the most sophisticated way for any political party to conduct a long march in a democratic manner to fulfill their demands. That's the main reason.
But Yaqoob Saab, what will you do holding an early election? Mr. Imran Khan has been barred for 5 years from holding any public office. So what's even the point of having an early election?
Well, that is a misconception that he has been banned or barred from for the 5 years. No, he was barred for the time being. I mean, he can contest the election. High Court has made it very clear. So there is nothing, no point that he cannot contest the election. And even that, we have challenged that in High Court as well for his temporarily disqualification. That is already challenged in the High Court.
Maruf Raza, what is giving Mr. Khan the impression or the confidence that if an election is called today, if early elections are indeed called, and I'm fairly certain that the government will not allow it, despite the optimism that Yaqoob Saab has on this show, but what is giving Imran Khan the optimism that if there is an early election, he's going to win it?
Well, quite clearly, if you see the support from Mr. Imran Khan on the streets of Pakistan, I'm sure none of his political rivals can muster this kind of public support. He has been repeatedly showing to the military, which loves to play this game of placing people in power and then removing them from power when they become too influential, uneasy and sleepless nights. It was for this reason that the military has gone now to this bizarre extent of coming up with this, new ruling by which they have got him barred from the process of elections through the Election Commission. Firstly, that in itself is so absurd that when you make state visits, you get some sorts of state gifts, which are large mementos that you bring home to the country and you display it in your Tosha Khana, as given by the King of Saudi Arabia to the Prime Minister of Pakistan or whatever. I'm just keeping an example. But then there are personal gifts that are given at every level, from a pen to a wristwatch. And you can't expect that to be displayed in the museum, that the great Imran Khan visited the great King of Saudi Arabia and was given this fantastic watch, which are available on the streets of any big city in the world or at airports. So it's absolutely absurd. They come up with these rulings when they can't deal with the political monster that one of their proteges has become. That happened with Nawaz Sharif. It's happening with Imran Khan. But the second thing is that Imran Khan can take this issue up to the higher courts, and the courts might just rule against the ruling of the Election Commission. Three elements are now at play in Pakistan. The military, which is a constant, political leaders like Imran Khan and their rivals, and the judiciary. And therefore, between the three, there is a musical chairs which is being played out really between Imran Khan and his political rivals, with the judiciary popping in now and then. And the military is the class teacher. And that has always been the case. They decide who will be in power, who should be out of power. And it is very unsettling for them, for the kind of support that Mr. Khan enjoys today, incidentally, which he did not enjoy when he was selected to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan and not elected, as many international publications that observed the elections that brought Mr. Imran Khan to power after Nawaz Sharif. So the tables have been turned, and Imran Khan is decided that he has nothing to lose. He's going to challenge them to the hilt. And if this really comes into play properly, Pakistan might just see the evolution of a new political narrative in Pakistan, which will see politicians in Pakistan actually calling the shots in the politics of Pakistan, and the military might just have to take the back seat, but beyond a point they won't, because their khana pina is linked with controlling politicians. Please understand, over 70% of Pakistan's annual budgetary allocation is eaten up by the military under pretext of national security and what have you. And India is the big elephant in the room every time Pakistanis discuss security. So that is not going to go away very easily. So the military uses politicians to sign off the checks that the military lives off. And very informed Pakistanis have said this to me, and statistics also lead us to believe, including books that have been written by knowledgeable Pakistanis, that the military's funding is a business in itself. They call it milbus, military business. And it comes from creating the fear of an external threat, which the military ensures is paid for by the people of Pakistan. The problem for Pakistan is, if all the money goes there, 70% goes there, then what do Pakistanis get for their development? And that's the central issue that has been a challenge for Pakistan for decades now.
But Hina Chaudhary, if that is the case, Mr. Khan, we know, is a bit of a loose cannon. We know that he's had a war of words with the military. He's also, in fact, admitted, I believe, that yes, indeed, the charges are true, that he did try and offer an extension to the army chief to save his government. So he's a bit of a loose cannon. Will the military still want to deal with him? Because if it's the military that is calling all the shots in Pakistan, then Mr. Imran Khan certainly cannot be the next prime minister, irrespective of when the elections are held.
I really want to start it with your last statement. As you have said, the popularity. Once we'll talk about the popularity of Imran Khan. That is up to 56 and 57%. Earlier in 1997, in Nawaz Sharif era, it was 46 to 7%. It is very difficult now to cope up with this popularity for Imran Khan. But at the same time, as we all know, Pakistan has been passing through a revolutionary process, and civil supremacy is all desirable. But state like Pakistan has been a security state, and in that sense, we can also say that dominant organization, that is a military organization, has always played its role, and that is a very exaggerating role. And we all Pakistanis are suffering right now to so that politicians should be mature enough to handle their affairs, so that the dominant organization should not play a part. So that's why we are hearing that kind of source, why Imran Khan has not been successful in proving himself. And talking about the main objective of this PTI protest. See, protest is a basic right of every Pakistani citizen. But when we talk about the basic objective of this long march, we have heard about many long march, like long march for people struggling for inflation rate, Mehengai Mukao March. Now this is another Haqeeqi Azadi March. So I really want to raise this question. Is Pakistan is not independent country. We are living in an independent country. We are independent nation. The main objectives which we are circulating, the objectives which are circulating everywhere, I want to highlight a few of those. Is it about Imran Khan's to gain political space, or to pressurize the existing government and also the dominating organization called as military organization in Pakistan, and to also to have a political space, as he has always, or
No,
his political.
he's calling it the Freedom March because he's sticking to the, he's sticking to the allegations that he has made without any evidence. That it is the United States of America that has interfered and toppled his government. Major General Sanjay Meston, what is Imran Khan playing at in your view? If it is early elections, that may not happen. That is very clear. What is he playing at here? I just put this, unprecedented. Okay, he's calling for a regime change, but the army has to agree to it, and the present government has to agree to it, and it is not in their interest to agree to it right now. So he's doing this march, which is great for visibility, but beyond that, Major General Meston, what does he achieve?
He has clearly said it.
Shreya,
Imran Khan in the last previous speech before to start
what I
this
would like
Haqeeqi
to highlight
Azadi Long
is,
March, he
I
has
think the
cleared
other
it that
speaker
it
is
is not,
continuing.
it is only for the freedom of Pakistan people.
Yeah, Shreya, good evening.
Okay, thanks. Freedom
to
from what is the question? Freedom from what is the question? Because apne, during his tenure, तो उन्होंने कुछ ऐसा कमाल का किया नहीं. Pakistan is an economic mess under Mr. Sharif. It was an economic mess under Mr. Khan as well. Yes, certainly Mr. Khan is more popular than Mr. Sharif right now. But I don't know what he can promise the people of Pakistan, where they'll say, okay, we are voting you back to power right now.
And for political or his self-interest, or for the national interest?
Oh, Major General Meston, would you want to come in here and answer that question? Is it for self-interest or is it for the nation's interest?
Yeah, Shreya, you had asked a question earlier also, so I will address both the questions. Shreya, the issue now is, firstly, he's calling it a freedom march and also a jihadi march. Now, what is giving impetus to Imran Khan? That has to be understood. I think the recent, win in the bypoll elections, thereafter also, the local support of the youth. And another factor is the killing of this Arshad Sharif, who was a journalist, and in Kenya he was shot. And fourth, very important factor, I feel, see, we must understand Imran Khan is a Pashtun. And there is a big today problem in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, that is the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement, which was started way back in 2014, now against the army, and even recently in 22, there was a very, very heavy protest in that area. So they are totally against army. Now, these are the few facets where Imran Khan is banking upon, because he also feels that those Pashtuns in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa will support him in the later future. Now, what will be the role of the army and Sharif government? I think their role would be very clear, that firstly, they would not like a Pashtun leader to be coming back, because whatever it is, he has a large following in the area of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And therefore, the Pakistan army and Sharif government will deal with this sternly. They will not allow this march to take place, and I think it will be suppressed. Now, what is going to be the likely outcome? The likely outcome is that he will probably win more support in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, and the movement, so-called the Pashtun Hafiz movement, will again help him, and therefore Imran Khan would really get a large number of following in that area. And I feel that this may take a totally different dimension. A Pashtunistan movement may start off, which is one of the key issues, because see, Pashtuns, they are a tribe or a ethnic. They consider themselves more first as Pashtuns because of the Pakhtunwali code rather than as Muslims, whereas the Pakistan army feels to unite the country, you have the question of Islam, whereas these people feel that it is more of their culture and ethnicity. So maybe it may take a different turn altogether, and this country may have a scenario where Pashtunistan may become a little reality, and Pakistan army and the Sharif government may have a very, very tough time controlling this movement, because since 2014, the seeds have been sown. Yeah, there was a person who was one of the young activists of this movement, Pashtun. He was arrested. There are a large number of following over there, large number of problems. They're questioning the army. They're asking about the army abductions, killings. And also, let me be very clear that way back in 1969, Swat, Dir, and Chitral areas were actually, these were all princely states. They were autonomous, and Pakistan army had annexed these in 1969. So what I'm trying to highlight, that the Pashtunistan ethnicity is going to be a major question now. Whether Imran Khan becomes successful in this, I really can't comment. But I think it is going to have a very, very different dimension of something of Pashtun ethnicity, and maybe Pashtunistan may be a reality, and this may succeed from.
The fear is that most such long marches, sit-ins, etc., and Mr. Khan is a bit of an expert in that. Maruf, I'll just get you in, have turned bloody and violent in the past. So there's a full possibility of that happening, because the government, the present Sharif government, will crack down on this long march. When it happens, we do not know. Yaqoob Saab, before I go to Maruf, I want to understand from you, you're calling this the March for Liberation, etc. Liberation from what? You have still not proven, and your party and your leader has still not proven that it was indeed the United States of America that was behind his government coming crashing down. Not an iota, not a shred of evidence, and yet you are sticking to that narrative. Sir, you're on mute.
No, I'm not on mute. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Before I answer your question, I would like to respond Major General Saab, as he has built his whole narrative or argument on the basis of Pashtun ethnicity. And while calling the Imran Khan Pashtun, let me correct it. Imran Khan is a Niazi, and Niazi who belongs to the Miawali. He's not Pashtun, he's a Saraiki. And he has no connection with the KPK. The only connection is that his mother is a Barki and Barki Pashtun. So calling him a Pashtun, I think it's not a fair calling him a Pashtun. So I mean, the other fact is, yes, it is the fact that he's most popular in a KPK, but that is not because of his identity or ethnicity. So rest is your question. As far as your question is concerned, and which I understood, I think I didn't understand your question, but I think it was about Haqeeqi. What Imran Khan is seeking, or as Hina mentioned, that our politics is an evolution process. I endorse her. I agree with her that our politics, our political dynamics, or political culture is quite immature. I mean, in past it was quite immature, but we are evolving now. We are getting into maturity now, and we are heading towards a civil supremacy. What actually he's seeking is a civil supremacy. That's a main point, that the foreign policy must be formed or must be crafted by the civilians, not by some other institutes. So that's all Haqeeqi Azadi.
Okay. Okay. Maruf, before I end this conversation, you wanted to come in. And very quickly, just to add my question, does it make a difference to India whether it's Mr. Imran Khan who's the Prime Minister or if it's Mr. Sharif who's the Prime Minister?
Well, I'll answer your last part first. It makes no difference to us, at least at this point of time, whether it's Mr. Khan today or Mr. Sharif today, or it was Mr. Khan yesterday, or it was his elder brother earlier. The fact of the matter is Pakistan's India policy is handled by the army, GHQ Rawalpindi, in as much as Pakistan's nuclear weapons, Afghanistan policy, China policy, US policy is all handled by the Pakistani military. There's enough evidence of that, and it's a no-no area for anybody else to get in. And that leads me exactly to the point that I wanted to make, that why is Pakistan accepting the fact that Imran Khan alleges that America had a role in getting him out of power, is because Imran Khan has seen that challenging America has got the military's backup. And more recently, you've seen General Bajwa's visits to America, which has got Pakistan a number of deals. An IMF loan quietly sanctioned, Pakistan removed from the FATF watch list, and most importantly, Pakistan is now getting money back from America, despite America making all sorts of announcements that Pakistan was, a place where American money went down the drain, as President Trump often talked about. Why? Because Pakistan and the army ensured that the Americans had a half-decent exit from Afghanistan, and Pakistan's army gave to the Americans an icon in the form of Ahmed al-Zawahiri, so that American presidents could chest thump like Obama did. Biden, his vice president, then now president, says, we got him. So that's the American line. They're not interested in doing away with terror, insurgency, lack of human development and whatever else. All they're interested is in tokenism, and this is what the Pakistan army helps them achieve. Now coming to the question that what can Imran Khan's rallies achieve? Well, Imran Khan's rallies, if they go ahead, will make the military rethink how much they want to pretend to be outside politics, and can they really take it, or will they come down, clamping down, and get it back to square one, because their own interests are threatened by people running the country and the government. They can't get the kind of money they are used to. The Fauji Foundation, Shaheen Foundation, everything else is funded by the country without being audited, because the military is completely living off the country. What about territories that the general was just talking about, whether it is the Khyber region or it is the other region like Balochistan, etc., wanting to break away from Pakistan? This has been Pakistan's history. But if these regions break away, maybe the military can live with it, maybe it can't. A lesson taught in the Pakistani military staff college for decades is all other regions of Pakistan can be given away as long as Punjab remains intact, because 75% of Pakistan's army, its officers and its men come from Punjab. Right. So Pakistan is really Punjab, and the rest of it is by the way. And that is what Imran Khan is doing. He is knocking on the gates of Punjab. He's taking his rallies to Lahore. And that is what is making everybody nervous, that if this man's going to unsettle the whole equilibrium, then we've got a problem on our hands. So it's going to be interesting to watch over the next 7 days how things will pan out.
And if the current dispensation will allow Mr. Khan's long march to carry on and make its way to Islamabad. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for this interesting conversation. Maruf Raza, Abdul Yaqoob joining us as well, Major General Sanjay Meston, and of course, Hina Chaudhary. Thank you very much for joining us. With that,